Hey Jeff,
Yeah,
how's it going?
pretty good.
So are you ready to be a picky
Am I ready to be picky? I mean, I'm always picky.
to your student class?
Not about English very much,
About what?
but always picky.
I know that the things that you hate the most.
What?
Do not wash hands.
I'm very picky. Wash your hands. Come on, boys, wash your hands.
Be careful for students who are coming to this academy. Wash your hands.
That's right, with soap.
Okay. Anyway, so at the first video, I think we were talking about the mistakes that students have to do
Right.
when they try to speak English, right?
Mhm.
So today I want to find out the mistakes that I made at the first video,
Mhm.
and then pick up some mistakes, and then we're going to talk about it together.
Okay, sounds good.
Good. You know, one of my goals when it comes to speaking English is to make students and people enjoy it. I don't think everyone has to be good at speaking English in Korea. So I think it's better, maybe better to say everyone has to be good
Exactly.
at English in Korea.
Exactly.
But you know, I've been teaching how to speak English before a lot. For 7 years.
Mhm.
Years. Students really obsessed with
Yeah.
this kind of the really. Is it basic mistake?
That's a very common basic mistake. It's not a big deal.
If Korean or if Korean students said, do you think that is kind of the really critical or major mistake? You think?
No, and honestly,
Mm.
as a native speaker,
Mm.
we probably wouldn't really notice.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, there's a lot of really small mistakes that people make, and we just don't notice that you make those mistakes because they're so small and so insignificant. They're just so unimportant that even though you say have, my brain hears has. So I'm not going to catch it.
In my opinion, a good English speaker is someone who gets their idea across in English and can say what they want to say even if they some mistakes. This one. In my opinion, a good English speaker is someone blah 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 blah. Even if they some mistakes. I feel
Right.
like this. So maybe I should say even if they make some mistakes.
Right.
But you understand, right?
Yes. So in that situation, it would be better to put the verb make. It's better to put it in there to make it absolutely clear. But through the context of the conversation and the topic of the conversation, I was still able to understand what Nick was talking about. So even though he didn't use the verb, I knew what he meant because that was the topic of the conversation.
You mean it's all about context?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I also have been teaching English before, about 7 years. So I think this is also kind of things that I made wrong. I also have been teaching English for 7 years. Sound like a natural, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I think I would say I also have been teaching English for 7 years.
Right.
Before, right? But if I said like this, do you think another foreigner teacher would understand?
That would actually be a little bit more tricky because you did say before, and that is a different meaning than for. So it could potentially be a little confusing. However, when you're speaking in a natural speed, it is possible you said before 7 years, and I just didn't notice you said before, but I did hear for. So it could have been my mistake, just not catching it. So that's a possibility. But yes, that one I would say you should use for, and it could potentially be a little bit confusing if you make that mistake.
Okay, the next one. So this video is for kind of the who are really not good at English. Maybe I think this one. I think this is video for kind of the people who are really not good at English. But at the time I said the who are really not good at English because maybe at the time I tried to speak English really fast.
Right.
That's why maybe I kind of forgot to use that
Right.
here. But you understand, right?
I totally understood. And in fact, you could also remove the. You could say this video is kind of for people who are really good, who are really not good at English. But again, that was not a big deal. You know, so I knew what you were talking about. So there was no reason for me to be like, hey, this is a problem.
So you mean that you always try to understand what people say from their context, right?
Yes.
Not just kind of the specific words.
Yeah, I don't care about specific words very much. Like I said, it can be important, but those have to be like really big mistakes. But most of the time, it's just through context that we can figure out what you are trying to say.
Okay. So Jeff, if I said to foreigner like this, do you think they would understand? Jeff, if I said to foreigner this, is that right? Because at the time I didn't use article or plural.
The other thing is, I would say if I spoke to foreigners. Because when we say said, we don't use an object.
Do you think they would understand? And then next one. That's just kind of how accurate you say it. Like me. So at this point, Jeff, I would say you talk like me. Yeah. Talk like me, right? But I said like me. Yeah. Do you think it's kind of a really big difference from them?
It's not a big difference. Again, this is a situation where I would be able to figure it out. I know what you mean.
I think to me, because I'm Korean, sometimes really confused to use the verb, say, speak, talk.
Right,
mention,
and tell and things
note,
like that, yeah.
Kind of it. That's right, but even though students make some mistakes, kind of it, said, talk like that, but you understand, right?
Oh yeah, because all of those words have the same basic idea. They're all involving communicating with words, with your mouth, words coming out of your mouth, and the context, again, we figure it out. Super easy, not a big deal.
So Jeff, do you think these students should be trying to be really obsessed with those kind of things?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Is it okay for your student to speak like this? I said, is it okay for your student to speak like this? Maybe I think I should have used to.
Right.
To speak like this, right? But it also matters.
Yeah, and that is what we would call a word that's not a content word. So even though you didn't say it, it's another situation where I could have heard it. Maybe I heard it, but he didn't say it.
From the context, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. So, I'll give you one mission for students or people who are watching this YouTube video. I said one mission, but I think I would say I'll give you a mission.
In that one, it really doesn't matter. Because A just means one, so you could just pick either one. It's your choice.
Both of them, okay?
They're both totally fine, and they both have the same meaning in this context. It doesn't matter. Could you please find out a lot of mistakes that I made?
Guess what? Could you please find out a lot of mistakes?
Right.
That I have to say, right? But mistake.
Yeah.
Sometimes really confused to use the plural.
Right, and that's a small thing. That's not a big deal. If you say a lot of, we know you mean more than one. The S is not a super crucial thing here.
Just writing, right?
Yeah, just write it.
Okay. And then Jeff is gonna feedback for you guys. I said Jeff is gonna feedback for you guys. So you mean that maybe I'll say Jeff is gonna give feedback.
Right.
But not an article here.
No article here because we cannot count feedback.
But if I said give a feedback, but you understand?
We would understand.
Right?
Yeah. So, thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and please don't be afraid to make a lot of mistakes because that's how we improve, that's how we get better. Thanks for watching the video, please click like and subscribe. Bye!